Hey guys, it's Helen Hart-Smith here again with
Kathy.
We're doing another top 10.
Another one, yes.
Guess what? It's going to be awesome. So this, Kathy, tell us what this is, because
This is...
it's all for you.
Yes, it's all for me.
It's all for you.
It's all for me. This is the top 10 gods and goddesses of justice or judgment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we thought we would do some top 10s and talk about some gods and goddesses. So this is the first one of those.
No particular order.
No particular order. So let's get started. The first god, well, it's a goddess on the list, is Athena. And Athena is from the Greek pantheon. We're going to try to, if we talk about a Greek deity, there's oftentimes a Roman equivalent,
or
so
very similar,
right? So we will talk about both of them as if they were the same.
Right.
Okay, so
although really I was just looking up the Greek one,
right? So the Roman equivalent of Athena would be Minerva. Okay, and so let's see. Athena is a goddess of prudent intelligence. She is the founder of Athens. She's the patron goddess of Athens. She is able to bestow command, skill, and courage, and also victory in war for those who revere justice and listen to her persuasive tongue, or destruction for the unjust.
Very important.
Right. So Athena or Minerva, they're usually depicted as wearing a helmet of some kind, very beautiful battle helmet, and carrying a spear. Her major symbols are, the biggest one is the owl.
Right.
The owl is a symbol of wisdom, which is also associated with her. Olive trees, snakes, and the Gorgon. Okay, so that's Athena.
Sure. Here's my throat tickle back. The second goddess we're going to talk about is also Greek, and it is Dike, or Dike. It's probably Dike, because it's Nike, so it's Dike.
It might, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't speak Greek. The Roman equivalent is Justitia. Dike is spelled D-I-K-E, I guess I should throw that out.
Like
there.
Nike.
Like Nike, only with a D. So, Dike is the goddess of justice and the spirit of moral order and fair judgment, but based on ancient customs. So, it's carrying on the way that everything has always been and should be, and the moral order, I guess, probably the way to look at it. Justitia is the Roman equivalent, is generally depicted with a blindfold. That's where we get our Lady Justice as blindfold. That's where we get that from. Dike is depicted as a young, slender woman carrying a physical balance scale and wearing a laurel wreath. So that's it. Mm-hmm. She ruled over human justice, but her mother Themis ruled over divine justice. And I don't know who the Roman equivalent is of justice, of Themis, because we're just really talking about Dike.
Mm-hmm. Right, so next on the list is the Sumerian goddess Inanna. Inanna is sometimes linked in with Hecate and Ishtar. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think that they have like the same kind of origins, and so those three are kind of all interchangeable in that area of the world. Excuse me, I got a tickle. We both have tickles.
Yeah.
So Inanna is a goddess of love, of beauty, of sex and desire, but she's also a war goddess and a combat goddess and a goddess of justice and political power. So she's associated with the planet Venus, and her most popular symbols would be the lion and the 8-pointed star. She was the enforcer of divine justice for the Sumerians in that area of the world. She destroyed a mountain for having challenged her authority and unleashed her fury upon the gardener. Oh, dear Lord. Yeah. Why did I attempt
Shakaletuda.
There you go. After he raped her in her sleep. So she was very much vengeful when she felt that it was called for, but she was also a goddess of love and beauty. I think she's one of those deities that was very strong. You know,
right,
we get
like an overall goddess. She was the queen of heaven. She was one of the major gods.
Exactly.
Of the Sumerians.
And so she's very popular along with Hecate and Ishtar. A lot of people kind of go to her, and I think it's because there's such a diverse amount of things that she kind of resided over.
Right.
So, yes. So that's Inanna.
Inanna. The next goddess we want to speak about is Maat. That's M-A-A-T. Maat. She's an Egyptian goddess.
And isn't there like an apostrophe in there too?
It depends on where you look at it. Sometimes there's an apostrophe between the two A's. Okay. I saw it both ways when I was looking today.
Mm-hmm.
Maat was the goddess of harmony, justice, and truth, represented as a young woman sitting or standing, holding a scepter, which is a symbol of power, in one hand, and an ankh, the symbol of eternal life, in the other.
Mm-hmm.
So she, I want to talk about that in a minute. So in the Egyptian afterworld, in the underworld after you die, your heart would be weighed on a scale against a feather that Maat had. And if your heart was heavier than the feather, then you basically went to hell because you had too much sin on your heart. If it was lighter than the feather, then you were good to go. You could go down to heaven or whatever. Mm-hmm. What I found interesting about Maat is her name became associated with the concept of truth, balance, order, harmony, law, and morality, in much the same way that Dike was associated with that type of justice, of the order of society, of keeping your honor and keeping your faith in your word and things of that nature. So I thought that was very interesting.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I don't know a lot about the Egyptian pantheon, but that's definitely a name that I've heard of. So
right. You see a lot of her representations with Anubis.
Is there, did she have an animal head or was she a human-headed?
I do not think she had an animal head, but I'd have to Google it.
Okay. I was just wondering, because so many of the deities are animal-headed.
Yeah, so many of the Egyptian deities.
Right, yeah. Well, you Google that. And sorry, I didn't mean to throw out a crazy question. But next on the list is the Greek goddess Nemesis, and her Roman equivalent is Invidia. So,
nope, she was just a girl.
Human-headed goddess. Okay. So, Nemesis was the goddess who enacted retribution against those who succumbed to hubris, which was known as arrogance before the gods. Okay. Bad idea. She was implacable. She is implacable justice, that of Zeus in the Olympian scheme of things, although it is clear she existed prior to him. I don't know. I've never heard of this goddess.
Really? Nemesis?
Yeah. I've heard of Nemesis, but not as a deity before. So this is interesting to me.
Apparently you need to go back to your gaming notes for the fates.
Anyhow. The word Nemesis originally meant the distributor of fortune, neither good nor bad, simply in due proportion to each according to what was deserved.
So she would basically tell you give your fate to you. This is what you're going to
She's one of the fates?
Yeah.
I guess I don't recall that name.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Nemesis. Okay, so is this our first god?
That's what I was.
Yeah. Okay, so I did the goddesses first, and now we're moving on to gods.
I see.
Yes, okay.
I let her put this list together.
I did it at lunch today because things have been crazy at work. Anyway, so the first god is the Roman god Jupiter, which corresponds, of course, to the Greek god Zeus. Jupiter is the god of the sky and thunder and king of the gods in ancient Roman mythology and religion, which we knew that. Let's see. As the sky god, he was a divine witness to oaths, the sacred truths and trusts on which justice and good government depended. His identifying implement is, of course, the thunderbolt, and the sacred animal is the eagle, which was depicted on much of the Roman Roman army. Sorry. It's been a long day. The two emblems were often combined to represent the god in the form of an eagle holding a thunderbolt, and that was frequently seen on Greek and Roman coins. Because he was a sky god, he could see everything, and you got in trouble if you didn't.
All-knowing, all-seeing.
Right.
Definitely. Next on the list is Marduk. He is an ancient Sumerian god. And did I go too far? How did I go too far? I started talking.
Yeah, you hit the wheel.
So, he was known in ancient Mesopotamia, and he was the patron deity of the city of Babylon. I don't know why that word didn't come out very easily. His origins are kind of sketchy and obscure and not really clear, but he was later known as the Babylonian king of the gods who presided over justice, compassion, healing, regeneration, magic, and fairness. He's depicted as a human in royal robes, carrying a snake, dragon, and a spade. And for you Anne Rice fans, if you've ever read the book Servant of the Bones, Marduk plays a pretty pivotal role in that book.
I don't think I read that.
Oh, it's a good one.
Okay.
You know, my favorite Anne Rice books are not necessarily the Vampire Chronicles. Check them out.
Right.
So
our next god is the Hindu god Shiva. Shiva is the destroyer of evil and the transformer. There's a trimurti in the Hindu pantheon. It's a trinity that includes Brahma and Vishnu, and of course Shiva. In Shivaism tradition, Shiva is the supreme being who creates, protects, and transforms the universe. In his beloved...
We're having some diction issues, aren't we?
In his benevolent aspects, he is depicted as an omniscient yogi who lives an ascetic life with his wife and kids. And in his fierce aspect, he is also portrayed as slaying demons.
Now, I don't remember, is Shiva the blue-skinned god?
Maybe we're Googling it now.
Yeah, I think that he's the blues. Yeah, because he's the father of Ganesha.
Yes.
So I believe he is the blue-skinned. Yes. Well, it doesn't show up well. Yeah.
Okay. Google it. Yeah.
That's your answer for everything, I swear.
Well, isn't that the answer to everything? Isn't that where you get the answer to everything?
Not all the time, no. Next on our list is the Norse god Tyr. And Tyr is associated with law and with heroic glory in Norse mythology. He is one-handed. He lost his hand when he put his hand in Fenrir's mouth, and when they were trying to... Okay, Fenrir, the big wolf who will bring about Ragnarok, and a child of Loki, by the way. They were trying to bind Fenrir, and they tried all kinds of things, and finally they had these like chains or ropes or whatever, and Fenrir was like, somebody needs to, as a token of good faith.
He didn't trust the gods.
Right, and so Tyr said, I'll put my hand in your mouth, and if they don't untie you, then you can basically bite it off. So he was kind of like the red shirt on Star Trek episodes. So his hand went in, they tied him down, and they didn't untie him, and so that's how Tyr lost his hand.
Right.
That's a really poor rendering of that story, but very quickly.
Yeah, it's actually on the document there.
Oh, well, see, I told it before I got to it. So anyhow, he is involved in legal decisions and principles of justice surrounding war, because he is an actual war god.
So there's multiple war gods in the Norse pantheon, and each one corresponds with a different aspect of war.
Right.
And his is the justice surrounding war.
Yeah. So that's Tyr. He's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and our final god is a Mesopotamian god, and I'm probably not pronouncing this correctly. Utu.
I think that's right.
I don't know. He was the ancient Mesopotamian god of the sun, justice, morality, and truth, and he was also twin brother to Inanna.
Well, isn't that interesting? I think I'd heard that before.
He was the enforcer of divine justice and was thought to aid those in distress. In Sumerian text, Utu is described as bearded and long-armed. His main temples were in the cities of Sippar and Larsa. I'd like to know where those are. I did not Google it.
In Mesopotamia.
Right, but specifically. He was believed to ride through the heavens in his sun chariot and see all things that happened in the day. And it's interesting how many of these gods are sun gods or sky gods because they could see everything.
Well, and I think that makes sense because you supposedly saw everything. Right. And I could easily see Odin as a possibility for being on this list. It's not one of his stronger points, but he is connected with wisdom
gods that have a lot of different roles.
Exactly. Right. He is known as a wisdom god, and so that definitely plays a part in justice because you need to have wisdom.
Right.
And there was a lot of wisdom that came through in these deities too. So there you have it.
So if we missed one, please let us know.
Yeah, if there's a justice god that you work with that we didn't mention, we'd love to know about it.
If you have called upon one of these in your spell work, I'd be totally interested in it. I'm a huge fan of true crime, and I like to hear lots of stuff about, bringing justice to the world. So I definitely want to hear it. If you've got a god or goddess that you've worked with to bring justice, please let us know.
Definitely. All right. So that's going to wrap it up for this top 10 list. If you liked it or learned something from it, please give us a thumbs up.
If you haven't already, please subscribe.
And like we said, we like some comments down below.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you liked and didn't like.
Right. And if you don't want to leave a comment, you can always do an email at heartofthewitchespath@yahoo.com.
If you have a suggestion for a different podcast or a top 10, let us know.
We're definitely open for that.
Absolutely.
We also both have Instagrams. Kathy's is
Slays Vamps, and Helen's is
Heart of the Witch's Path. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and thanks for walking the path for a little while with us. Until next time, blessed be.